Eternity is such a magnificent place. All things are present and connected. Time exists, yet it has no sequential order. By this I mean past, present, and future are all experienced in your present moment. To explain it in mortal terms, time is like a digital puzzle. All of the pieces for all of your experiences, past, present, and future, already exist. When you think of a moment, instantly identified and assembled are the appropriate pieces to form your present experience. What's even more amazing is that you can be all of them at once. Yes, I mean you can be all of your past and all of your future in the present moment. Now let's think about this. If all possibilities are eternally present in the digital puzzle of your thought, then your future has unlimited experiences to be assembled in your present moment, which creates this dilemma. If an unlimited future is always in your present, how can you have value in the present moment? If you have everything, you can want for nothing, and want is the feeling that creates purpose and value. As you ponder this, it brings forth the conclusion that it's nearly impossible to comprehend the value of eternity while being present in it. Now, as you are a mortal being, and having hidden the knowledge of eternity from your present self, I'm sure your thoughts are spinning out of control on how to process this concept. To gain a deeper perspective of this principle, let me share a story about Bill Withers, a man living an immortal life. His experience may allow you to connect to this external concept of time and how it can be so easily unappreciated. Bill Withers was content with his life that he led in mortality. He lived on a tropical island where each day the sun rose, revealing a lush jungle with an endless supply of food easily gathered and consumed. The temperature was always between 68 and 72 degrees, with a soft breeze circulating the air that surrounded him. Bill had no worries, no fears, and no wants. All that he needed was always present for him as he desired. If he was hungry, he would just pick a fruit or a vegetable from the many plants that were continuously producing and surrounded him in this perfect environment. Bill had several springs of water near him. However, he loved a particular spring that was located in a rolling hill next to his home. Elois, as he called it, continuously pouring forth the water that fed a nearby lake through a gentle flowing stream that passed next to Bill's home. He would simply fill his cupped hands with water from the stream and drink. The water was always cool, clear, and thirst-quenching. And the air, yes, the air. The air was always crisp and clean, with the fragrance of the many varieties of flowers and vegetation that filled this tropical paradise. Bill had always known this type of life. It had always been the same for Bill, never wanting or working for anything. All of Bill's necessities were available all of the time. Because of this, Bill could feel no real feelings towards his experience of living. Happy, sad, excited, dejected, exhilarated, etc. Everything was always available, with no effort to obtain. Since everything was always available, Bill had no concept of how valuable all of what existed and was present for him in his daily experience. Well, this all changed one day for Bill. As he lay in the shade of the trees, watching the blue sky, he felt the earth beneath him begin to shake. This was strange and new to Bill. Confusion, a feeling he had never experienced before, came to his presence. Bill Withers jumped to his feet and searched the horizon, seeking an answer to what was happening. As he scanned the horizon, his eyes stopped on something strange. There was a black cloud of smoke and ash rising from the distant mountain into the sky. Bill had never seen or experienced this before. The mountain, a long dormant volcano, had awakened from its long and deep slumber, coming to life and beginning to erupt. This had never happened in Bill's lifetime, and Bill was completely lost in a swirling storm of emotion that filled his being. He watched as the entire sky became blackened with the billowing smoke and ash rising from the top of the mountain cone. The volcanic cloud quickly expanded, hiding the blue sky and sun that in Bill's experience were always present before. Soon the ash began to drift down from the sky like the snowflakes of a winter storm. Bill could feel the heat from the ash as it fell upon him. He struggled to breathe as the normally clean air was filled with the fine ash and dust spewed from the volcano's mouth. Bill's nose, lungs, and mouth were now coated with this fine ashen dust, causing him to cough and choke as he struggled to breathe. This created an emotion of panic, urgency, and fear. He felt the powerful instinct of survival kick in. This feeling pressured him to seek water in order to clear the dust from his nose, face, and throat. Bill moved quickly to the stream of water he knew so very intimately. He was seeking to obtain its now precious, never-ending supply of clean, clear, and cool spring water. Stretching forth his hands, Bill scooped water from the stream, taking a drink from the cup formed by his hands. Bill gagged and violently spit the water out as it tasted rancid and gritty, having been mixed with the volcanic ash. The clean spring water, now mixing with the ash from the volcano, was flowing a muddy gray color in the stream feeding the lake. Bill now was conscious of the rising feeling of self-preservation and loss as he struggled to breathe and drink for survival. A deep understanding of how precious the air and water he had consumed each day, with no thought of it ever being tainted or restricted, came to his present consciousness. It was only now, in this moment, and in this experience of drastic limitations, he understood how valuable these endless resources were to his existence. Not to worry, the volcano went back to sleep, and Bill's environment rejuvenated and cleansed itself rather quickly, eventually returning to nearly the perfect state it had been prior to the eruption of the volcano. As a gift to Bill, every now and then he would feel the slight tremor of the volcano grumbling in its now fitful sleep, reminding him of the value of all that was in his present experience and how quickly it could be gone. It was in the moment of limitation that Bill truly understood how very valuable the endless resources of air and water were to him. With each small and trembling moan from the mountain, Bill was reminded of his bounty, and he expressed his gratitude for its gift. Hopefully this story of Bill Withers' life experience provides for you some perspective on what Jimmy and his immortal friends wrestled with in their eternal situation. The challenge of eternity and immortality is that of being a spirit, which is a fourth-dimensional energy, thought, or intelligence. In this form, there is no connection with nor experience of a limited sequential time or physical space. In the fourth dimension, there is no time as you and I know it. How can there be time if there is no beginning, no end, and it's not sequential? Time has to be measurable to be present. This means there must be a beginning and there has to be an end, and it must flow from beginning to end. Sorry, time does not exist like this in eternity. The same dilemma exists with physical space. A fourth-dimensional being has no limitations in physical space, as they are the universe, hence no experience of limitations. If there are no limitations, then there is no such thing as space. To define space, there must be a beginning and an end to measure. The universe is all-present and never-ending physically. Again, no limitations, so there is no physical space to experience as the universe. I hope you can comprehend the challenge that Jimmy and Associates faced as immortal beings. They desired a way to organize something that they had never experienced: mortality. At some point in eternity, Jimmy and his fellow beings knew they were missing the wisdom that limitations and oppositions could provide only through experience. This created a powerful discussion and debate on how to organize and orchestrate an individual yet collective experience that would provide a way to feel the opposite of immortality. To create this experience, they would have to collectively organize the rules for and agree to these rules by their own choice in order to participate in a mortal experience together. I hear your thoughts now. What do you mean? So you're telling me I was a part of creating the experience I'm going through at this moment? What the hell was I thinking? Because right now I am truly lost and confused by this experience you refer to as a mortal journey by immortal beings. Life. If I'm an immortal being, why do I feel so small and insignificant in life? Why do I have no memory of the premortal journey? And why do I feel so afraid of my end, death? There is no way I created this for myself. You see, you're declaring the very thing that was not experienced as an immortal being: limitations in memory, space, and time. All of these are what immortality is not. And as such, this is what provides you the experience of being mortal. As you now know, it's the opposite of your immortal experience. Your very thoughts confirm the story that I am sharing. So, Jimmy and his friends spent an eternity working together to plan and organize an experience that is in most ways the complete opposite of what they were having in their fourth dimensional realm. Rather than eternity, they would create an experience of limited time. They would also have to make time sequential so that you felt its presence with a beginning and a non-stop progression towards an end. Time could only be physically experienced in one direction, moving forward, never backward, and never stopping. Mortality would have to be a place of physical dimension and space. Yet your physical size and capabilities in this dimensional space would often create the feeling of being insignificant compared to the expanse of the overall physical environment. But on the other hand, your physical being and capabilities could create the feeling of being extremely powerful and somewhat omnipotent in relation to much of the physical elements that were organized and cohesively bound together to construct this environment. The debate was exciting and at times heated as the eternal souls shared their thoughts on how to organize such a mortal experience where everyone could participate in their individual experience and collectively share an experience created by the whole. It was no small endeavor to create this complexly simple experience. So, come with me as Jimmy and his friends walk the path of the great debate.